Hmm. Hmm. Um. Just move this up. Actually, I'm gonna do this instead. Oh shit. Okay, that's not gonna work, is it? Actually, it will work. I just gotta adjust this stand's a bit broke. That's what it is. I have to go live. Whatever. Okay. Okay. What's going on? So I'm decided to go live right now up on YouTube, and just chilling. I'm gonna be going through my music shelf with my music collection, straighten out some things, and going to be organizing, replacing some cases. That's what I'm gonna be doing right now. Also here to talk to you guys, or those who ever really tune in. Yeah, would have went live on IG, but this other phone doesn't. What's the word? My old phone that I'm using right now doesn't hold much memory because I have a lot of my music on here that I listen to, and sometimes it just disappears. I need to get a SD. Bigger memory card. I used to have one, but got corrupted. Things out of that nature. Doing a lot, like I always do. Got some music news. So for those who tune into the YouTube channel, can be updated. Next month, I do have some new music dropping. Those that are locals in Columbia, Tennessee. I will be dropping, I think, around maybe 7 to 8 projects next month. It's been something that I've been really wanting to do for a long time. The main project, which is the rollout project, is called Chiller. It is a 3-disc set. The cover, I'm going to show you guys what the cover is after I do this. So it's a 3-disc set. You get 3 different types of genres in there in terms of storytelling. You get street, soul, and I want to say pop as well. So that's what you get with Chiller. I'm going back to try to sell music, and they're all for cheap prices. So once I change out with these cases that I'm doing, I will be showing you guys so you guys can get a better idea of what it is that I'm going to be doing next month. It's going to be through the full 2 months that'll be coming up, which is the whole month of October and November. That's what I'll have going on. These ones are changed out, which has something to do with what I'll be doing next month anyways. So I'm gonna just grab this box. Actually, I'm just gonna grab this box. These right here, followed up by these and this. Okay, let me check my other phones. What's going on? So, okay, so here are some things that will be going on in terms of anybody who are locals here, Columbia, Tennessee, and those that listen to my music, and those that do support me with in terms of physical copies. So next month I got a new project coming out called Chiller. There's the front cover. It's a 3-disc set. As you guys can tell, it is inspired by, let me just move up, by Michael's Thriller cover, if you will. Here's the back right there. The disc covers, sadly, are a bit generic because it would have cost me a bit more money, and just money that I just didn't have to properly get the disc covers the way I want them done. You know, I do have the template sheets for those, so I just put them on there. And since I am an artist when it comes to sketching, those that watch my channel, I decided to go ahead and do the name and then the name of the project and put disc 1, disc 2. So it's like, you know, black handwriting, white template sheet, pretty much. Because I was burning, when it came to burning the CDs, it was 150 CDs altogether. So you know that's 25 pages a piece for each. You know, it's 25 pages a piece for 3 stacks for 50 CDs individually, and the total of copies for paper wise would have been 75, and that would have ran me a pretty penny. So I just couldn't do it the way I wanted to. However, the music will make up for all that. I will be doing an updated room kind of tour, my setup and everything in the next couple days or so for YouTube, since I did one for the IG. So yeah, another next project that will be coming out will be Psycho 3 2018. This one's done and completed. It is for $2. There's the disc cover art right there. Shit, that one came out the rubber band, didn't it? So there's that. So that's for $2. Those that are wondering where is my music going to be put out at, I always put it out at 2 different places that support music. One is High Fashion Clothing over on James Campbell Boulevard, next door to the dollar store, right next door to H&R Block, right behind Galaxy Lanes. That's right across the street from UPS. So there's that. The next project that'll be coming out is Katsa and Cheddar Cherry Reborn, which is more soul based, spiritual based at that. This weekend coming up, I will be getting the disc covers made for that. Now, let me kind of correct myself. Well, how can you get the disc covers made for that if you couldn't get the disc covers how you want them made for Chilla? Well, I'm going to tell you guys, the template sheets that I use, like it's one sheet that has 2 stickers for the disc, right? And when I go to Office Max to get them printed up, like I bring my own template sheets because they don't have any. So I bring my own. Yeah, that does save me a few bucks, but it depends on if it's color or in black and white. So that's one. So you do get priced in terms of if you want black or white ink or color ink. And then the next goes into how many copies. So not copies as in CD disc covers, right? Not the disc covers, not the templates itself, the sticky part. No, as in the paper, like this. So you gotta think about it, right? This is how I do it. I always count the circles, what are the CD stickers that go on the disc. So I made sure I counted 50 of them, right? So you count by twos, but the paper itself added up to 25 pages. Now, 25 pages by themselves isn't that bad. I'm looking at least around 25, maybe around 30 at the most. But however, 25 pages times 2, which is 3 sets of that, is 75. That would have ran me almost around $60. And I don't have that. And that's how much I always found myself paying anyways for getting the case cover art cut. But by the machines that do it automatically, until I started using the self cutter. And a lot of people like the self cutter because their machines is just too expensive to use, but they got rid of the self cutter, which I don't care for that they did that. So I cut them myself now, one cut at a time to make sure they're straight. So there's that. We'll probably be getting some flyers, advertisement flyers, I should say, as well this weekend. On top of that, there are going to be some re-releases, certain projects, followed up by special re-releases. So the first re-released, which one re-released is going to be Straight Outta Columbia alternate cut, which is for $5. And let me pause for a minute and say this. These 2 papers I will be reading off to you guys. So depending on what store you go to get your physical copies, whether if it's high fashion clothing or over at Variety Record Shop, you guys will know what you'll be paying in terms of tax or no tax, and the lowest that I would go in terms of an offer. Now, my prices ain't up there like a lot of people's. They're decent. When I mean decent, you'll see how decent. Now, this is a re-release. Re-release is going to be exclusive really for high fashion clothing, because when I put this in particular project out in July, a lot of people couldn't get their copy. I know, the shop was closed for a while. I mean, you had Eric on the road. You had one of the workers that was out on vacation. Then you had one that had another job. So he couldn't really be open. And a lot of people really wanted a copy. So when people were asking me, do I have any on me? No, but is there anywhere else you can get them? That's why I had to do videos on here, on Snapchat, and on Instagram to let people know, hey, you guys can still get my copy over at Variety Record Shop as well for $5. So I will be releasing it for high fashion. Now, if you guys want this in particular project, you guys can also get it over at Variety Record Shop, but it's not going to be packaged the same. Yeah, the cases look similar, but this one's packaged different. I'm going to show you guys. I like these cases that I got. They're a bit pricey. They're the dual cases. So this is what you'll be getting when you go over to high fashion, right? So there's disc 1, right there. And then there's disc 2. So there's that. Now, why is it? Well, the alternate cut, which I explained before in a previous video about several months ago, those that have seen that know why I released it, but those that don't, I'll tell you. The alternate cut, which is the first CD, if you guys can see that, it says original cut from 2014, which means this project, the first time, was recorded in late of 2014. I just didn't release it. Now, the second disc is a mixture. However, what I have on there is a typo mistake, which is a good thing because, typo mistakes are usually valuable. So the second disc, half of the first of the 10 songs, I do believe, if I remember correctly, are songs that were recorded for the reboot project of 2015. The next 10, half of that, of the 5 separately from the last 10, are from okay, so how can I put it? Okay, so I do believe, if I remember correctly, there should be at least 15 songs on disc 2, maybe 10, I can't remember, but to kind of give you guys an idea. Okay, 2015, I decided to go back and do the project. I didn't release it, so I want to say the first 10 of the songs on disc 2 are from 2015. I do believe. The next set of 5 songs, if I remember correctly, which will be a total of 15, are from other songs that were recorded for it from the okay, you know what? There's really no way I can really describe the second disc, but I'm going to try to because I can't remember how many songs are on the disc. But I'm going to just put it like this. The first 5 songs on disc 2, at the most, that I do recall, are from the 2015 recordings. Then the next 5, which would be 10, are from 2016 album cut from other songs that I recorded for it that didn't quite make it. And then some in between that were promotional songs to almost to a similar project, which was Born Gangster, right? Then the last 5 are songs that didn't make it onto the digital release from 2016. So there's that. So it's different from the rest that you have gotten. So again, it's repackaged different, and it's a re-release for iFashion. But again, you guys can get the same project over at Variety Records as well. So there's that. So there's that. The next re-release project is only 3 copies, and it's only going to be for iFashion, which is a double album, a side A and a side B, but reversed. And a lot of people didn't quite understand when I dropped American Devil. I had a lot of criticism, a lot of backlash because of the cover. Those that did get a copy did listen to the music, and they understood why I named it that. I'm not a man of God. I don't consider myself a man of God. I am more spiritual than I am religious. And this is what you guys will be getting for $5 as well over at iFashion. So here's side B, which is the front side of the case, which is American Devil. On the back side, side A, which is Eclipse, which is the light side of religion and spirituality, while side B is the dark side of religion and the dark side of spirituality. And it's also in the dual case. So when you open it, it's going to look like this. So there's the disc, and then there's the disc for Eclipse. So there's that as well. And then I got I take that back. I got 3 special, and I say special in this one, 3 special re-releases. Okay, I got 3 special re-releases. The first special re-release is the alternate cover art that's GTA inspired for Seatown's Keeper 7. I got to get the disc covers done for this. And because everything else will be finished this month before next month. The next one is going to be a special re-release with a special cover art of Dangerous, the mixtape that I did. So there's that. That will be for $2. The Seatown's Keeper 7 for the alternate cover, if you guys seen the price tag, is for $5.
No.
And the last special re-release is Bad, the mixtape album that I did, will be put out on cassette for 10 cents. So there's that. Let me just put these other ones up really quick. And again, those will be exclusives and will be available through the whole month of October and November. Now, I want to read to you guys off on these papers so you guys can understand the prices and why they are reasonable, and why those who will watch this will say, you know what, that's not a bad price. It's better than what most people would charge who get too high up on the high horse, if you will. Hold on. I always gotta check my phone right now. Okay. So, let's see. For this one I'm about to read is going to be for Variety Records. Those that go there and who will see a blue bin with an advertisement flyer for myself and for my music in it. There's going to be other advertisement flyers. We're going to try to work out to get my own little spot in there for my music, since I put out a lot, and those that who do follow me with my music career know I put out a lot of music just about every month. It may seem like I put out a lot of music out this year, but I didn't, because I was saving everything for next month. And before I begin, those that support the projects that would be coming out next month through the month of November, I will be showing my gratitude and my support the best way I can by putting out a free project that I've been wanting to do for years. That will be coming out in December, but we'll get more to that down the line. So now it's time to read this paper, those that go to Variety Records. And if you guys want to purchase my music, I will be talking to the manager over there to negotiate room for pricing. Since I'm not on contract, I'm not held down by no one. Since I don't have any management, I'm not held down to a brand, to a label, but my own brand, which is Jazzy Inc. I don't have to worry about splitting money with a third to fourth party, which means I won't have to worry about paying back somebody for like the CDs getting made up, booking, agents, management, things of that nature. So it's just the money be split between me and the place of business. Okay. So the first one, Chiller, $5 plus tax. They do tax over there. Tax would be considered $6, right? The lowest I would go when I negotiate would be for $4. That's it. Psycho 3, $2 plus tax, which would be $3. The lowest would be $1. For Reborn, it's $1 plus tax, which is $2. The lowest would be 50 cents. Sea Townskeeper 7, $5 plus tax would be 6. The lowest would go for 4. Dangerous, which is $2, which would go for $3. The lowest would go for 1. And Bad, the cassette, is 10 cents plus tax, which would be 25 cents. The lowest would be 5 cents. So there's that. Now, this one that I'm going to be reading is going to be for high fashion clothing, those that go there. Now, Eric doesn't do tax like that, so ain't gotta worry. Chiller, $5, no tax. The lowest would be $4. Psycho 3, it's $2, no tax. The lowest would be $1. Reborn, $1, no tax. The lowest would be 50 cents. Straight Outta Columbia, Ultra Cut, $5, no tax. The lowest would be 4. American Devil and Eclipse, $5, no tax. The lowest would be 4. Sea Townskeeper 7, $5, no tax. The lowest would be 4. Dangerous, $2, no tax. The lowest would be $1. Bad, the cassette, 10 cents, no tax. The lowest would be 5 cents. So there you go. And, you guys won't be disappointed in these releases. Like I say, I do have those that do support things of that nature and everything. And I'm going to go through my music shelf and we're just going to talk. We're going to chill. I want to get everything else out the way that I did, which I'm glad. So, I guess one thing we can talk about is that, those that go through depression, those that go through suicidal depression, mood swings, bipolar, those that fight every day with their lives, you don't go through it alone. I go through it, and you do have to be careful of those that are depression and suicide hustlers. And I'm talking about the Xanaxes, the Takashis, the little Yachties, the little Uzis, a lot of these new upcoming artists that we see, they're depression, suicide hustlers. And they do everything for attention. Behind the scenes, there have been people that did speak out and say they're not really like that. They're always happy, turned up, and they're always popping Xanax and drinking lean and shit to get them motivated in the studio. There are real people out there with real problems that want help and can't get the help because we're too busy acknowledging these people who we think really have it, who we see every day on social media sites who don't. And you're not alone. I know it's hard to get help. I'm in therapy, and sometimes, really going to therapy really doesn't help that much, as it helps just talking to a total complete stranger at times outside of a therapist's workplace. And you always want to do what makes you happy. You know, there are things that build up to that that may make you feel like you're not welcome in this world, or you're not loved, or you're trying to do what keeps you happy, you're trying to stick out, you're trying to figure out things, and to where people judge you. And again, I know how that feels, to where I'm about to share with you guys some things. Those that watch this is for the people that really need it. Me, I had a rough upbringing. um Some would say, was it because of the money situation? Those that have watched the in-depth money interview that I did on this channel, that's one. But there's a previous update about that. If you guys watch it, it's called Court After Money. But most of it even goes through without the learning disabilities um, that I have, because that a lot, people with learning disabilities get picked on a lot, do get bullied and judged. And I used to be one of them that used to get bullied in school years ago because of that. And I would have to fight and defend for myself, which goes into me saying this. There's nothing wrong. And I said it before. To me, if you have to have people talk for you, stand for you, speak for you, fight for you, you're not a man. You have no well-being, to where I don't have no one to speak for me, stand for me, defend for me, fight for me. People that do see me usually see me a lot by myself, and I stand on my own. And that's what I had to do. There were some that I grew up with that, did, speak for me even when I didn't want them to, and stood up for me. And throughout the years, it took a long time for me just to gain respect because of my learning disabilities. I was in special ed classes, my entire life, and I had some normal classes like science and history. And some of the most unique people in the world are people with disabilities, learning disabilities at that, to where we stick out the most. We are, people like to call us names, but we look at ourselves not as freaks, but being different. And it is something for a while that I used to be really, really, really ashamed of, because how it felt, to where, that added on to people, kids commit suicide, that go through a mental illness along with that. Having disabilities along with learning disabilities also goes into mental issues. And it's something that we don't really go explore, talk about, because it's something that's never really been, looked into. And through, for a while, for a long time, just, I had to have tutoring. I just, so much of it just really didn't help. I always learned on my own. And for a while, my skills were from reading to writing skills on a third to fourth grade level. Over the years, it did get better. In November, I'll be 28. And I came a long ways since so many years ago. And don't be afraid to be who you are, which goes into you want to be a unique person. Goes and you want to think differently. You see things differently, to where your intelligence to most goes into the level of a university level, even though the state will label you as retarded because of your learning disabilities and your IQ when it comes to testing might be low because that's what they do, when in reality you know the truth that you can outsmart, be the smartest with the best of them, and show a lot more intelligence, and goes a long way in how determined you are. When it comes to work later on, me, I haven't had a job in I haven't had a job since 2008. Didn't work since 2010 because I always wanted to go off and do my own thing, and I just couldn't do that because of certain reasons till now. So now I was able to move how I want, be able to do business how I want, be able to make as much money as I want. More about that goes into the, core after money video that I did a couple days ago that you guys can check out and watch. That goes into a long time. It was just me just wanting to do my own thing, but I couldn't for certain reasons. And there's a lot of people that want to do their own business, want to be able to do what they want to do without having to work a 9 to 5. And for some people, it's just not really meant to work a 9 to 5. Me, I can't work at a job. I don't work well in a group. I don't work well with others. Not every environment's going to be a bad environment, but not every environment's going to be meant for you. My experiences were just bad environments to work in because of the people and being treated different at that. And to you just want to be, you want to stick out to where it goes into you want to be yourself, but you can't because society won't let you, and you get judged a lot. Me, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. I'm not going to be everyone's personal choice, but I choose to now speak on things. I choose to be, open, intelligent, to where I'm really good at history. If I had a choice, I would be a history teacher. I would teach real history, not BS history that they have in books. I like science as well. And I know things a lot of other people just don't know, to where, if you don't like what I'm saying, determine whether or not determine this. I consider myself an artist in many sense of that direction, along with an entertainer that goes into trying to create the best content I can possibly create. And I may not be the best at it, and I get that. I got 19 subscribers. I'm thankful. I'm hoping to get more later on in the future and more views. To what I can say is this, I started off doing artwork. People used to criticize my artwork, and a lot more used to gravitate towards it. I used to be a background lead dancer. From there, I wanted to be a baseball player. Even though I'm not a sports fanatic, I really don't care for sports, but I like baseball. Used to get a lot of slack for that because I was good at it, and people would try to make you seem like you wasn't. To where I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I got into music, didn't know which way to do that. I've been in music going on for 9 years almost. Leading into next year would be 9 years for me in August of next year. But I didn't start taking off till the middle of 2016 till now. And that's going well. It's going good. I may not be booked for shows, but my music's out there. People know of me, heard of me. But my music for age demographics not going to be for the younger audience. It's going to be for people my age, which are in their late 20s, early 30s, 35, 40, 45, 50s, sometimes in their 60s, and also that reaches out and goes to the jazz community in terms of the jazz music community. And I like to try to keep people happy, to keep people entertained, because there's certain people that I do care about that I don't like them hurt, down. I do what I can, I do my best. Um, Even though sometimes it may not come out right, and I always try to correct that. I know I'm not perfect by any means, to where when it goes into what I create, from whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, you know, you don't have to stop. You don't have to change who you are to please someone else because they don't like what you're doing, because they're not doing it themselves. I like to talk like this on IG a lot, whether if it's about this or um, what's going on in the world in terms of political terms, music, just going through a stroll, um, creating music, putting out music, creating art in terms of painting, um, putting out clothing, which I used to. And if you don't like what I'm doing, even in terms of collection videos, pickup videos, history topics, DIYs, gaming, even SoundCloud, then you know you could go on somewhere. You can go on to something else, because I don't need that percentage of the dumb, deaf, and the blind that likes to put down people because they're not doing something that's realistic. It's my job, yeah, to be an entertainer, but it's not going to be my job to please those that stop what I'm doing. You feel what I'm saying? It's not my job for that. It's never been my job. So just because, one goes through what they go through and doing what they like to do doesn't give those the right to down you. And I know how that feels. And again, I'm still talking to people that are fighting through depression, that want to be themselves, that want to stick out, and those that who are changing, that you can see it. And I'm talking those that don't constantly put it out there to advertise so much on social media and say, look how much I'm changing, about every week to every month, it seems, to every hour. Or you hear the statuses along with the pictures, like, I like who I'm becoming, because those are the people that you do want to stay away from. Because the truth of the matter of fact is, today they're not changing. They're not. They're still going to be the same hypocritical dumbasses, blind to the matter of the fact, who are afraid to be awoke, deaf, dumb, and the blind coons who still start the same shit over and over. Them. Because they're just going to make everything else worse on you, to where when it comes down to things, guess who's going to end up getting blamed? Yeah, you are. That's real. That's 100% facts. I've been around people like that. And a lot of us don't like to be alone. I don't. But sometimes it's okay to really be alone. There was most of the times where, yeah, I know I said what I said earlier about standing for yourself, speaking for oneself, don't have people really speak for you, and that there'll be times, if not a lot of times, that I can really recall for myself that you really seen no one with me. You seen no one stand with me. Don't hang out with a lot of people. Times you guys did, but that was just really a small circle, to where now, or even then, to where there'd be times where I just didn't want to be around people at all. And I would just, and they would just run into me, and I gotta be honest, I just wanted to avoid it. I really did. I wanted to really, really avoid people. I just didn't want to be around. But at the end, I do know what I was feeling inside, which was being miserable, fighting what I was fighting, and having no one to listen to you, no one to talk to. You're afraid people will judge you. And I know how that goes. I know how that feels. I do. So, don't always try to, don't please people because they want you to. Don't be afraid to want to be yourself. And those that judge people who go through the depression that they go through, please stop, because you really don't know what that person's going through at the end of the day. And it's always best to reach out. It's always going to be best to reach out. Because you may have saved someone's life doing that. Now, in terms of political things, with the next topic, you got to be careful what you stand for, what you choose to stand up for, going into what you choose to fight for, because not everything is going to be the right thing. And a lot of it is really misinterpreted, to really misrepresented, to where a lot of it is fake BS with propaganda and puppets that are used as iconic figureheads that people are following, to where there's no good outcome coming out of it. Let me grab my phone and check it really quick. To where you got to be careful what you choose, to what you want to fight for, to what you choose to stand up for. I say this going into what's going on now, with a lot of things being painted now in a negative light for certain symbolisms. It goes into the Colin Kaepernick thing on why not only us in the black community are so hypocritical, coons, biased, but we're following false hope. We see him and say, man, he's black. Look what he's doing. We need to follow that. But look at what's going on. Nothing's changing. Nothing's being fixed. And I'm going to get into why Three people should hear me out. First, I want to go back again to the beginning. I like history, so I'm gonna give you guys some history that will lead in to what I'm saying. All right, I'm throwing you out. Come on, we'll be having this all damn day. Legs are getting tired though. Okay, so what goes into this, right? We're gonna take the Nazi symbol, the four hammers. What if I told you those four hammers, that Nazi symbol, never stood for what it stood for as we know it because of World War, if it wasn't, World War II and Hitler. That symbol's been around many, many years before the wars as we know today. That symbol's known and was all over the world with the ancient lions, the Egypts, the natives, Africans, the Chinese, all over the place. And that symbol really represents the circle of life. But when you have a negative influence, a negative power that comes along and takes something, because history has forgotten where certain things have started at and came from, it goes and it paints it into a negative light because they want you to forget real history, because there's forces in this world that don't want you to be awoke. They want you to be dumbfounded. There's things in this world that they put in our communities, into our societies, that drive us to be stupid. Okay? I want you to hear me. What I'm saying here. So, you had a person like Hitler, how the war was through many years, and what it did to that symbol, and why now it's known as something negative, and why the real history of it has been forgotten. Because that's what high forces and negative energy that's so brought into this world that comes into existence does to things like that. To going into the Civil War, right? Which goes into the Civil War now. The rebel flag, as we know it, is painted towards a negative symbol that people now paint it as racism, when in reality, it doesn't. Again, you get the wrong people, it will be painted as that, because real history wants to be hidden from the world because of certain influences that are out there, because of certain people. Which goes into me saying this. The rebel flag, once upon a time, was actually the South flag, and the American U.S. flag, as we know today, was known as the North flag. The real Civil War wasn't about racism. It was about what flag was going to be chosen as us to represent as a nation later on in the future and more years to follow. Okay. The red represents bloodshed. The blue X represents the railroads that were connecting us as a nation, as a colony, as a continent today. The 13 original stars represent the 13 original states. Okay? If you look back at a lot of let's go back for a minute. If you look back at some of the footage from World War II photos, you will see the hands going like this. What if I told you during the Civil War era that was still around, but it didn't represent hatred? What if I told you into your history that that was actually the original pledge of allegiance back then, to where they would go like this, then go like this? Again, you put something in the wrong hands over the years, it will get painted towards a negative symbolism, because the actual history behind things will be forgotten, because we're so drove and attracted to negativity in this world. That's all we know, which goes into why now I feel like as society, us as people, even the young age now, that we all have failed, because we kill each other now over shoes. Okay? I did a topic on Jay/Jordans aren't a big deal. Jordan himself, he's afraid of being, he's afraid, and he's also ashamed of being black. He's ashamed of where he came from. So he doesn't help his community. He doesn't help Chicago. Puts in. He wants to be accepted by white man. He wants to be accepted by the whites. He wants to be accepted by the high power of the whites. That's why he says a lot of things that he says. It says, my shoes weren't meant for black people. They're meant for white people who enjoy things, not trash them. We kill each other over those shoes. Every time a pair comes out, they say it's new, and it's not. Because a lot of the color schemes are reversed, being recycled. A lot of it is not going to be worth money, because there's a lot of it in storage houses collecting dust. Give you some examples. Yellow, green, green and yellow, right? Still the same shoe. Blue and white, white and blue. Still the same shoe that comes out every a lot. You have red, white, and blue, blue, red, and white. Still the same shoe. Purple and black, black and purple. Still the same shoe. The main color that comes out a lot. Black and red. Every damn time. They go stupid over it. Man, this new got the new ones. I guarantee you, if you were to look into your closet, and I went in more of a deeper in depth than this in my video called Jordan/Jays Aren't a Big Deal, that's on my YouTube channel. Just got to look for it. Until one day, people realized they were buying the same damn shoe. Then they got all in an uproar about it. Well, they released it again, but people still bought it. Again, us in the black community, we're so hypocritical, judgmental, that we're just going to flop to it because we don't know any better. We don't. We're too dumbfounded. Call it for what it is. That we have to have something, even though we bought the same thing over and over. You to look in your closet right now, you will see the same pair of damn Jordan shoes that you would keep buying over and over again, which lets you know they ain't worth shit. Even some of these ones that keep advertising now that people are buying, a little bit of a new design, but they're still the same damn shoe for the now past going on 3 years, 2 years at the most, maybe even a year, has been released over and over. People think the orange and black is new. That's been out. Been recycled. The gold and black, been recycled, been there. Nothing's new. Right? Goes into the Madden games. Our kids don't know any better. They go stupid over that damn game. Now, I know those of who are parents are going to want to, want our kids to have it. 'Cause that's what they like. It's what they bug us about. Put that right there. It's what they bug us about. Things of that nature. But if you look at it, right, every 2K game's the same damn game that gets released. Nothing's new about it. It's all the same thing. It's all the same shit. It's all the same theatrics. I say this because it's true. Let's look back. I only got 2 of the games, but they're for the Sega. Let's take the Madden game, right? I got Madden 95, I do believe. Take a look at Madden 95. It's the same game as Madden 2K19. The only difference is the graphics and newer players. I get that whole thing. I get it. Nothing's new about it. It's the same damn game as the 2K games. For the basketball, I got 2K, I think 93. It's the same game as 2K19. If you take a look back at the past now, when stuff like that really started picking up, I want to say 2010. So from 2010 to now 2018, which is over almost a decade, about 9 years at the most, I would say. Right. So you go back to 2K10, things of that nature. You're gonna realize, it's the same damn game like the 2K19. Nothing's different. Nothing's changed about it. If you were to look into your entire collection, if you were a Sega person, or better yet, let's take it back to the PS1, PS2, Xbox 360, PS4, right? Of all the sports games that came out, the Madden and the basketball ones, right? You're going to realize, oh shit, it's the same damn game I've been playing over and over and over and over and over and wasting money on. Been wasting money on. So you could have saved yourself a lot of money. You could have saved yourself $70. Right? Now, people would say, things like that, that's being brought into our community makes us dumbfounded, because the higher powers say, hey, that's the kind of stuff that people gravitate towards. Let's put more of it out. Which is why it goes into our kids today are overweight, diseases, diabetic as a high rate, and they think it makes them sport professionals and say, I play a sport, when in reality you don't. Those that do play sports don't gravitate towards the sports games like that. But a lot of them do, to where it makes them lazy, to where they just don't want to play the sport. They just want to play the game. It used to be, when I was growing up, even before that, you would have to go outside, shoot a real ball, actually run, get some exercise. To where, because of shit like that, because of those fucking sports games, is why our kids today, they don't hang out anymore in person. They hang out through texting, they hang out through on the system lives. Like, yeah, I got a PS4, or they hang out through the social media sites. And the only time they get to see each other is why? Because we are following false leaderships, false things that things is going to save us or be worth something. False adjectives, false negatives, false beliefs, being sheep, being puppets, being brainwashed, which goes into with the Colin Kaepernick thing. The American flag, because of him now, is being painted as a representative symbolism of hatred and racism when it's not. People over across these and other third world, almost fourth world countries, they see that flag, and to them it brings hope because they want to come here to America because we have more freedom, we have more rights than countries do, we have more stuff than countries do, to where a lot of them can't work. Some of them, you have to pay them money just to work. They don't have proper schooling. They don't have proper doctors. I understand, we got some problems of our own here in America we can't even fix. If think we can fix another country's problems. But they come here to the U.S. looking for freedom because we have more actual freedom in every sense of that word than a lot of countries do. And also going into is this: a lot of us have fans, friends, family members that have served in the forces, that have died, that have shed bloodshed of their own, or people that they fought alongside, carrying that flag on their back, so to speak, in order for us to give us the freedom, do what we need in order to give us the freedom that we can do, as in go to school every day, go to work, right? Order for people to play sports, for people to be musicians, people to be actors, doctors, and lawyers. And Colin Kaepernick does not appreciate that, because what he is, and I will lead into this once I tackle the Nike thing. I'm sorry to hear dogs in the barking. But anyways, we have people that have died for that flag, for our country, to where Colin Kaepernick doesn't appreciate it. I guarantee you he has friends, family members that have died carrying that flag in order for him to play football, in order for him to get paid the money that he does get paid for, so he can buy his family whatever, so he can go travel. Well, he wants to say and make it towards a racism thing when it's not. When it's not. Which leads into this next part, right? Well, a lot of that leads into this next part with us following him, saying he's a leader. Look what he's standing for. Yeah, forget the flag. No. As you can see, a lot of the fights and riots over it, nothing good's come out of that because of him. A lot got worse. Why do you think there's so much more cops killing blacks now? Because of Colin Kaepernick. right? Now, hear me out. With Nike, he wants to paint out Nike as a racism company in terms of shoe when he's the one who reached out to them, then they hired him, and then they paid him. We all were going to protest for Nike, but look, because we're so hypocritical, lost, sheep, coons, and don't know any better in the black community, we went out, bought the shoes anyways. Even those that couldn't afford it got the shoes. Right? Which leads me into saying this. Those who are paying Colin Kaepernick as a symbol of hope, he isn't. I don't know if I told you, what he's doing is false propaganda. Fake propaganda to bring in views for the NFL, to where the higher powers chose him because his football career wasn't going anywhere. So they said, hey, we're going to pay you this much amount of money if you do this, along with the NFL. So he's getting double the amount to pay from a higher power in the NFL to bring in more views, to where they say, keep doing what you're doing. We're going to make it seem like we're going to cut you off when they're not. He is still a football player who is still getting played and who will be back next season. I guarantee it. Nike paid him. Okay? So you think he cares about anybody that gets shot and killed, people of color, over protesting and think what he's doing is right with the American flag or Nike or the things that are still going on now? No, he doesn't. He doesn't care about you, because every time someone gets killed for following a false prophet, what she is and what we're making them out to be, more money goes into his pocket every time that happens. Oh, and I guarantee you, he done made a lot of money from all that. From the flag situation, from the Nike, for people getting shot, killed over this. He made a lot of money from it. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't. Which leads me into saying this. We need to stop following false narratives like him. You may not want to hear it, but that's what happens. Because we're making something as an iconic figurehead who was a puppet, who has no real power over anything. Like I said, he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about me. All the people that said, what he's doing is a good thing when he protests with the American flag, with the riots, people got hurt, killed over it. Money went to his pocket after that. Even with Nike situation, money went to his pocket. So he doesn't care. Just like Jordan. Each time one of us in the black community kills each other over his shoes, he gets paid more because of that. He does. So, which leads me into this part. You need to be careful what you're fighting for and what you're going to protest for in terms of rights, because not all of it is going to be for good. A lot of it's going to be for bad things. It's going to end up having negative outcomes in the end. I guarantee it. So, with that being said, is why a lot of us, you all, those that watch, really need to sit back and think, what it is that I'm saying. And say, hey, you're right, there's some truth to it. You just got to be awoke. You got to really look into it. Don't be following the next thing. I get what's popular out there, and why sometimes we need to be drug away from reality. a lot, but you know, not constantly all the time like that. And this isn't the first that stuff like this been trying to be, you know, pointed out to us. Just like the Black Lives Matters movement. We don't care about our lives. We don't. Black Lives Matter movement doesn't care about black people. A lot of it is what they're helping is white people. They're showing it right in front of your faces on TV. And you can't even see it. The main people that really spoke on that pointed out so well, that went into depth, the detail, you know, not just people during some of the hurricane floodings that said, where's the Black Lives Matters movement? We saw them given to the white people, not to the black community, right? To where they only come out during a white person kills a black person. Because it was a racial thing. It may not have been a racial thing. Where are they at? Trying to take care of those of foster children who are of color, people who are poor living on the streets who are color, people who need some kind of medical attention who are of color, people who are having a problem putting their kids to school who are of color, because that movement was created by the higher power of white people who don't give a fuck about you. They don't. I think it's I want to say it was like a religion or a following of people that really spoke on that, who don't support them, and who were exposing them to the fullest. I forget them, but I forget their names, but they're the people that called out Charlemagne the God for having the word God in his name. So, you know, that's why it's always best to be careful which goes into religion, because you need to be careful which you're going to go follow. You know, there's a lot of false prophets, a lot of false tongues being spoke, a lot of false gods with a lot of false beliefs that brings in that stuff to existence. You know, that's why you got to be careful. And that's why we have to be more careful as well in this society, how we now live in. So, but yeah, God, I still got a while to go on the shelf. You know, dusting it, organizing it. I mean, it's organized, just restraightening, I guess. Replacing some cases. So that's about that. It takes me a while to do this. But yeah, man, I'm out. I'm gonna finish this up what I can. I'm gonna rest.